Super Smash Bros. Is a staple for a lot of people's childhood. If you didn't have a Nintendo console back then this was the next best thing. And in this video, I'm gonna legitimately try and 100% the game by unlocking all 15 unlockable characters. Emphasis on legitimately try because this game didn't age well, and you'll see later on a lot of the things that makes this game a broken, buggy mess. The first character, or rather the first two characters that I decided to unlock were Jigglypuff and Luigi, as both need us to complete adventure mode, with Luigi specifically requiring us to beat adventure mode with Mario. So we start playing and already we start seeing some problems. The movement in Super Smash Bros. Is, to say the least, very odd. It felt like every ground that you touch has ice physics, and it's very evident when you use an attack after you run, as you just slide for a good amount of time. It seemed like what McLeod Gaming, the developer of this game, was trying to do was implementing some sort of momentum in your movement, as when you move, you start off pretty slow and you go faster as you continue. But in the end, it ended up making the whole game run on ice physics. The controls are pretty weird as well. The only thing you can do in this game besides moving is jump and attack with O and P, with the attack button of course having multiple directional attacks. This button layout wouldn't be so bad if we don't move with the arrow keys. This layout is so uncomfortable, and before you ask, no, you cannot change the button mappings, and no, it does not have controller support. It's an old Flash game. And finally, you take damage very easily. I don't know how to explain this clearly, but every time someone attacks you, you get locked into place until you eventually get launched far into the atmosphere. And this doesn't just apply to the characters you fight against. Enemies like Koopas and Batniks can also easily rack up percentages on you, and later on, you'll see why that's a very big problem. So we start off in Super Mario World, and this one was very simple. All you need to do is just go to the right until you reach the goal line. And I will give you my reaction. But I just found out that the first recording for this video, I actually used the wrong mic and you couldn't hear anything that I was saying, so it sounded like this. Oh my god. It did get fixed on my second recording, but 2 hours of footage of me complaining just down the drain. Please subscribe so you ease my pain. The next level is Peach's Castle, where we have to fight 2 Marios. And this is when I realized that projectiles are overpowered, as you can stack up percentages by just spamming P and hit them with an up attack for an easy kill. Not only that, some projectiles like Mario's Fireball can actually provide knockback, so you can easily just spam it and make your opponent fall back off the stage. And with that, I easily cleared Peach's Castle. Now, floating islands is where I start having problems. Remember when I said that the movement in this game is very weird? This wasn't that much of a problem in Super Mario World, as you only need to go to the right. It becomes more of a problem in floating islands because this time you needed to go up while going through platforms. You can easily overshoot and undershoot on where you want it to land, and if you fall down hard enough, you can actually go through some of the platforms coupled with enemies being spammed left and right to block your path, and they can easily launch you far off your platform. Oh, why don't you just up smash? There is no up smash, there's only up attack, and it's somehow hard to hit them. But nonetheless, I cleared floating islands, despite the difficulties I had with it. After that is target practice. Nothing too special. These are actually surprisingly very fun and well designed, I will say. After that, we go to the Pokemon Stadium, where we have to fight 3 Pokemons. It starts off with 3 Pikachus, but later on, after we unlock more characters, 2 of the Pikachu will be replaced with Jigglypuff and Mewtwo. But after that, we would still be in the Pokemon Stadium, as we have to fight a bigger version of a Pokemon. This part is actually a lot easier because you can just spam one attack and the big Pokemon would eventually die. And despite the Pokemon being bigger, I'm pretty sure they have the same physics as us, so it didn't make them heavier, like, at all. So it's actually a disadvantage to be bigger because your hurt box is a lot bigger. And you can easily clear this part in like 2 seconds, I'm not kidding. And then Green Hill Zone. This level is so annoying. Yes, all you need to do is go from left to right with a bit of platforming, but the main problems are the Batniks and how much they are spammed throughout the whole level. As I've said before, even the most basic enemies can rack up percentages very quickly, and Batniks are especially bad because they are airborne, which can make hitting them pretty hard to do even if they just die to one hit. Oh, and not only that, there are pits in this level that you cannot see and predict, and combine that with the Batniks, which can stop you in your tracks due to how you take damage in this game. You can imagine that I died a lot in this level. And then after that, I fight Link and Zelda, which is super easy. Big difficulty spike with Green Hill Zone. Oh, and not to mention the 1 minute timer. Yeah, Green Hill Zone is just a big difficulty spike. But after we fight Zelda and Link, we're back to the hard stuff. God, Master Hand and Crazy Hand are the bane of my existence. It starts off pretty normal, albeit hard, with only Master Hand spawning, but after Master Hand health goes down by half, Crazy Hand starts showing up and everything is it's just too much to handle for a broken game like Super Smash Flash, as they can easily kill you multiple times and sometimes even do a glitch where they launch you below the stage. This is in normal mode. Besides Green Hill Zone, the fight with Master Hand and Crazy Hand is easily the hardest part, as I fought in this level multiple times. For now. But after suffering through all of that, I eventually beat and unlock both Jigglypuff and Luigi. After that, I decided to go to adventure mode again, but this time as Blade, as it is necessary to unlock Blue. Who's Blade? Who's Blue? I don't know. Apparently, they're original characters made by user TopCat13 on the MacLeod gaming forums, specifically created for Super Smash Flash, which... okay, that's actually pretty cute. When are we getting Blade and Blue for Super Smash Flash 2 MacLeod gaming? We want them. I had a harder time with Blade because he doesn't have any projectiles that I can shoot. But nonetheless, besides the usual shenanigans, I completed adventure mode and unlocked Blue. After this, I decided to switch things up and enter classic mode, and this is to unlock Super Sonic. Yes, Super Sonic and regular Sonic are separate characters in this game, and I need to complete classic mode with regular Sonic to unlock him. Classic mode is a lot easier than adventure mode, as it mainly just consists of one-on-one fights, multi-target practice, multi-man melee, and... oh my god. Oh, Master Hand is also here, but thankfully, unlike in adventure mode, it's only Master Hand that appears and Crazy Hand is nowhere to be found, thankfully. And with that, I unlock Super Sonic. I also tried unlocking Shadow because I thought you have to play as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles on the classic mode to unlock him, but it turns out I actually have to go to adventure mode for that, so... off I go in adventure mode. Since I already explained on how adventure mode and classic mode works, I'm just gonna skim through these so that it doesn't get too repetitive. So I completed adventure mode with Tails, Sonic, and Knuckles to unlock Shadow. But when I did my run with Sonic, I also unlocked Inuyasha, which you can unlock by clearing adventure mode without losing any lives. Granted, I did change the difficulty to easy rather than normal, but I don't think it changed anything besides making Master Hand and Crazy Hand have slightly less health. And while I was going through adventure mode with Knuckles, I actually found a pretty huge cheese strat that makes the Master Hand fight a lot easier. So remember when I said that if you take damage, you lock into your position until you eventually get launched out of the stage? Well, in the Master Hand fight, you still get locked into a position when you take damage, but it seems like both Master Hand and Crazy Hand don't actually have moves that can launch you out of the stage, which led me to find out that you can just stay under either of their hands, spam one move, and easily defeat them no problem. This cheese strat turned what I thought was one of the hardest levels in adventure mode to one of, if not the easiest one, and you bet that I am gonna abuse this strat for the future characters. But yeah, I eventually unlocked Shadow with Knuckles. After that, I unlocked Mewtwo by clearing adventure mode with Jigglypuff and Pikachu, but on my way to unlocking Mewtwo, I also unlocked Lloyd by clearing adventure mode after 1 hour of playtime. I then unlocked Zero by clearing adventure mode with Mega Man, and unlocked Young Link by clearing classic mode with regular Link. Now after that are the characters I consider to be the hardest to unlock, at least at the time. 2 of them require you to beat classic mode and adventure mode with all 13 characters, and the other 2 requires us to complete what I consider to be the hardest modes of Super Smash Flash: 3-minute melee and 100-man melee. This dreaded me because back in the day, there was actually an exploit where you can skip every fight except for multi-target practice and unlocking a character. And as you can guess, back in the day, I used this exploit to unlock both Chrono and Cloud, the characters you get by completing 3-minute melee and 100-man melee. But alas, I decided to go unlock Chrono and Cloud first, since even though doing Classic and Adventure mode with 13 characters is a lot easier, I thought I'd maybe end it on something easier rather than something hard, and plus it's a lot shorter to do. The first one I did was unlocking Chrono by completing 3-minute melee, which requires you to survive a 3-minute round with characters constantly spawning after you kill one. But I took a deep breath, opened up 3-minute melee, and oh, would you look at that? Yeah, so surprise surprise, I found another exploit where the characters just straight up don't fight you for the whole 3 minutes. I don't know how this happened, but hey, I'll take it. But just to be sure, I did KO a couple of characters there, and with that, I unlocked Chrono. Going into unlocking Cloud by clearing 100-man melee, I actually feel confident since maybe I could find a cheese strat to make this fight easier. And find one I did, as spamming up attack with Supersonic got me through the fight very easily. And I chose Supersonic specifically because his up attack doesn't move him, unlike other characters where for some reason they tend to move the character slightly. And I realized that most of the time, the characters only launch me upwards, and by staying in one spot, even if I do get launched, I will go down to the same spot and not go on the platforms, which can increase my chances of getting launched more easily. And with that, I unlocked Cloud. And after that, I unlocked both Naruto and Mr. Incredible? Yeah, that guy. By completing both Adventure and Classic mode with all 13 starter characters. Not much else to say there, except that Samus is the worst character to play in this game. She has like a 5-second delay between her attacks, while all the other characters, you can easily rapid fire with whatever attacks you want. But alas, all we need to do now is unlock one more character, Mr. Game & Watch, which requires us to do multi-target practice with all the other 27 characters. Now, this may sound time-consuming, but in reality, if your character already did multi-target practice in either Classic or Adventure mode, then you're not really required to do it again with said characters. Which means that the only ones I needed to do are the characters that I just unlocked, which saved me a lot of time. So I did just that and unlocked Mr. Game & Watch.
Ready? Go! Game!
And with that, all 15 unlockable characters and also a few other things have been unlocked, making this a complete 100% playthrough. So, do I recommend this game? Yes and no. I do recommend playing it once just to see how far along we've come in terms of fan-made Smash clones. But I do not recommend doing a full playthrough, as it did not age well with all its bugs, glitches, and exploits. If you want to play a good Smash fan game, just play Super Smash Bros. 2 or Smash Bros. Crusade. But with that, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please subscribe and comment below what other games you want me to play next. But that's all I have for you today. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.